Welcome back, creative friends. Today we are going to do a fall scene that's a choose your own adventures. What are you going to need? Well, you're going to need yellow, orange, red, black, and white paint. Don't forget to have a rag and a cup of water handy and a couple of paintbrushes. I like to use a medium flat brush as well as a medium and small round brush and a small flat brush. So let's get started. I'm going to start with my medium flat brush and I'm going to create a horizon line using some yellow paint. And this line is going right in the center of my picture. I'm going to make a gigantic bump where it's going to be a sun and fill that in with yellow. Everything outside of that I'm going to fill in with orange. Going back to my sun and my yellow paint, I'm going to just take some stripes and pull them out from the center. This is a radial pull, so I'm starting at the very center of my sun and I'm just pulling those lines straight out. I want that yellow to mix with that orange. If it's a little bit too mixy on your part, let that orange dry a bit, but just pull that yellow out, letting that orange mix with it and extending those rays of your sun. I'm going to do the same thing, but add some white and maybe even some more yellow to this. I'm just trying to get a really nice variety of warm colors in my sun area. So a little bit of white, a little bit of yellow, keep pulling it out with my medium flat brush. Switching brushes to have a little bit more detail in my sun. I've got my medium round brush and I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to pull it out in that radial pull, starting right from the center of that sun, making straight lines out. And I'm going to use this again with white, orange, and yellow paint. Going back to where my sun shape originally was in my medium flat brush, I'm just going to take some yellow paint and I'm just going to re-put my sun back in. I want to be able to see where the sun is, not just where the rays are. So I'm just redrawing where that original sun line was, trying to lighten it up just a little bit so that I can see where my sun is starting from. After that, we are going to blob some red paint right on the bottom of our canvas, and we're going to fill everything below in with a reddish-orange mixture. As you're finishing out your ground, make sure that you're doing nice, long left to right horizontal pulls just to kind of smooth out the area and make the whole thing look like it's brought together. Let this dry and then you get to start to choose your own adventure. What are you going to put into your painting? With my background totally dry, I'm now ready to choose my own adventure. So let me move this painting and get a white canvas ready. I'm going to zoom you in and we are going to start making our own choices. The first thing we're going to do is make a barn, and this starts pretty simple with a square. Add a triangle top to it so it kind of looks like a house, right? But to really make it look like a barn, we're going to add a silo. And a silo is just a rectangle with a curved top to the side. Now, all of my artwork is going to be silhouettes, so I'm going to paint it all in black. might be easier to see it zoomed in, let's make a fence. So if you want to add a fence to yours, you're just going to start with a couple of vertical lines that are all about the same height. Now, the posts on your fence are where you get to really have fun. You can start with the posts on your fence being totally straight left to right, or you can make them a little bit crooked. So you can add some that are left to right, simple horizontal lines, two that connect maybe. You can also add a little bit of fun to these and maybe make them so they're not totally straight, or maybe one that's broken and it's got to be connected by the two someplace in the middle where it's broken. Feel free to even add some crazy stuff like some grass or maybe even some cobwebs to make your fence look a little bit more fall. I love making trees. I make letter Y trees, and what I say that is it starts with the letter Y. And from that letter Y, I break off into more letter Ys and more letter Vs, and I fill in the edges of my trees with these simple shapes. As you're doing these, remember you can never add too many branches, but don't make them go down too far on your canvas. You also want to think to yourself that your tree trunk needs to be thick enough to hold all these branches up. So after you're done making your branches, try to thicken that tree trunk up and maybe make the bottom just a little bit jagged so that it looks more realistic. Moving on to our next choose your own adventure, pumpkins. I like to make my pumpkins with a curved top line, kind of parentheses on the two edges and a curved bottom line, and then of course adding in my little stalk. Now you can make your pumpkin short and fat, you can make them tall and skinny. It's really your choice. Again, I'm painting all of mine in black because I want mine to have a silhouette to them. I can't imagine painting a farm painting without having a windmill. Windmills are pretty easy. It is 3 lines that connect at the top. Now that center line is generally just a hair longer, and there's some X's that connect these lines together. So as I make my X's going all the way up the top and bottom, the main part of my windmill's done. Now the top, all these are lines that kind of intersect in the center. So I like to start with a letter T and a letter X. Now you can be as detailed as you want with your windmill or simple. You can stop right here. You can add a couple circles into it. You can make one of the windmills a little bit larger than the others to show which one is kind of push and force. It's really your choice. You can thicken all of them up if you want and make them all look like paddles. So on your windmill, kind of have fun with it. Make it your own. Let's talk about scarecrows. We're going to start with just a simple stick figure. So I'm going to start here with my arms, my body, and then my legs. So this is going to be the basic outline of my scarecrow. I'm going to make sure that the clothes look kind of baggy and saggy on the arms. Scarecrows didn't generally have really nice, neat clothes. And then throw a couple of skinny lines in there to have it look like the straw is sticking out. Again, baggy, saggy clothes make a nice big shirt on my Scarecrow, as well as some nice big pants. Let's not forget to add the straw coming out the bottom of his legs. And let's move on to the top of our Scarecrow. Let me zoom you out just a little bit so you could see his head. So my Scarecrow head, I'm going to really just kind of start with a couple of hay straw lines coming out and an ovalish shape head right there at the top. Now the hat I'm going to start with a curved line right over top of his head and turn that into what I like to think about is almost like a stocking cap, right? So kind of goes up in the hill shape at the top, and then it almost looks like there's a little triangle that comes off of it. Add a little bit of straw at the base of that hat, and any other details I want to add on my Scarecrow. A little bit of straw sticking out the top of his hat, and he's good to go. Now, I always like to think about adding in something like an old tire wheel kind of leaned up against the fence. So I'm going to start with 2 circles that are pretty close together, and then the larger circle. If circles stress you out, get a couple things to trace. Get a dime and a quarter and a cup and trace those. But then the spokes are going to be skinny little V shapes that go all the way around the tire. Finishing these spokes up with just small little lines that connect the inner circles to the outer circles, and our wheel is finished. So, what do we have next? I think we should add some silhouettes of sunflowers, some long curved lines, some ovals for the centers, and some petals. Don't forget to add your leaves for your sunflowers as well. Now remember, these are just suggestions you can add to your fall sunrise. Think about adding something that's unique to your picture. Maybe you want to add some corn stalks. Maybe you want to add a dog or a swing in your tree. Have fun with these. As I put my picture in speed motion, I want you to think about what you can add to your picture that's going to make yours unique. Have fun with this. I can't wait to see them. Don't forget when you're finished to sign your artwork. I always pick a color that will show up on my painting and sign in my initials in the bottom right corner. Don't forget, I never get to see what you paint unless you post it to our Facebook page, Painting with a Purpose. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And remember, as always, stay kind, stay creative, and stay safe. Have a great day, friends. Bye now.